Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the 6 p.m. Soul Center in Spokane, Washington, meeting of Dharma Recovery, and also online. Happy to see you all. Crossed. Um, so I've been thinking about the 8 worldly winds, and as I was thinking about this week, my mind went in all sorts of odd directions. At one point, I even found myself reading the four quartets, 2 of the 4 quartets by T.S. Eliot, and thinking, well, this is great, but I don't know if I'm finding anything here. Although he's spent a lot of time thinking about stuff that's really Buddhist in nature, and I spent time thinking about a thing called mimetics, and that's memes. So I was thinking of the 8 worldly winds and thinking of mimetics and thinking of those things that I or other people may grasp onto or despise, and that some things other people may despise, but I grasp onto. Or no, the other way. They grasp onto, but I despise. And how I can get caught in these ways of thinking. And how it puts me into a trap that causes me to suffer those 8 worldly winds, because I feel emotions that are related to that. And T.S. Eliot, I will say, in the second quartet did write that do not hope for a thing, because you may find yourself hoping for the wrong thing, and do not love a thing, because you may find yourself loving the wrong thing. And that's always a possibility. So I think of mimetics, and we know memes. Now, we all been on Facebook and we've all seen memes. But before they were called memes and thrown all over social media, there's a study, not a study, a theory about psychology in the 1970s about mimetics. Richard Dawkins. And he wrote a book in 1977 about it. And I'm not going to say it's 100% true. When I was looking at it, there's a lot of people who have issues with it, and I can see why. But I remember one of the beautiful sayings I hear from Julia a lot is, well, it's true, but it's not the whole truth. So when I look at mimetics, I think, well, they're true, but they're not the whole truth. So one meme that was in my brain, one thing that I centered many of my beliefs on, was a meme that said, get a job. So I would be going somewhere, and this was a while back, it's not been recent, but someone would be asking me for money, and I lived in Brown's Addition, so I'd run into it a lot in the 80s and 90s, and I'd say, get a job. That's what I would just think, and sometimes I would just say it outright. And my heart has changed vastly since that time, with my understanding of trauma and my understanding of what can happen with people and addiction, and many of the people I've known who've encountered that path. I've learned so much. But when I had that attitude, get a job, you're just being lazy, I cut off all curiosity I ever had about any of these people who I would meet. Trying to understand why they're there and what may have happened. And since this time, when I meet people who are in that realm where they appear like they could be homeless, but they're asking for money. Oftentimes I will give them money, and we'll have the idea that it's none of my business what they spend it on. But if whether I give them money or not, I always say, my name is John. What's your name? And shake hands if you want to shake hands. And when I say always, recently I've always done that. So the new meme in my head, and again I need to be careful because memes can be deceptive. They're part true, part not true. Like everything, they're part true, not true. But this meme has been a skillful means for me. The new meme is that this is a sentient being, whether animal or human, and that makes them valuable. Knowing I'm going to say I can't save them. Is that even a lie I tell myself? But knowing I can't, I don't think so. Knowing there's not much I can do in that moment except have a human contact between two living souls. That's what I can do in that moment. So I'm careful with memes. I find myself having an awful lot of meme-like thoughts about a group of people who in politics, and I will think that they're not compassionate, that money is more important to them than compassion. And there may be truth to that. But I need to be curious enough to keep things open and to keep the potential of change open in the world, to understand where they're coming from, right or wrong, and to recognize on many things they may be right. And for us as practicing, most of us are Buddhist, and most of us are involved in recovery. That requires a lot of letting go of our concepts, a willingness to listen. It doesn't mean giving up on what we think is right, but a willingness to listen. So now when those thoughts come in my head, I ask, is that true? And how this ties to the 8 worldly winds, the things that can sway me left and right. Some of the thoughts I had a job about a year ago that I gave up on trying to keep and do anymore after I'd done it for years. And I always thought if I gave up that job that I would be poor. And that's a story. That's stronger even than a meme. A story is a meme with legs, you know. It'll just spout out all sorts of other little things around it. And I believe that, and I needed, as I realized I was miserable because of a lot of the relationships in that job, I needed to re-examine that very critically. And I found out before I left that was not the truth. And crazily, on the last day of the party, they had a party before I left. I found myself being happy that I was going and not afraid. And that's because I was willing to challenge those ideas I had in my mind. I used to be afraid of, what if I can't keep earning enough money to make the house payment and I lose this house? That was a meme I had in my head, a story. that created fear. So one day I was thinking that, and I was putting my key in the door, and I could almost shake. And then my wise mind, the Buddha mind, came into my head and goes, "You'll lose this house." I will lose the house. I will lose my relationship with everyone I know in this world in the form that we're in now. And I will not even continue to be the same being from one year to the next. I've never worried about losing the house since. But I needed to be critical and look at it and go through the fear. So I just want to spend a few minutes doing a chant because I like chanting, and a few minutes in silence, and you can think about that. But I challenge, if you have memes and stories, I'll call them memes and stories, look at them. When they arise, look at them. Are they true? In one case, one meme wasn't true. In the another case, the "I will lose the house," it was true. It was. But both resolve themselves with peace within myself. I want to do Om Mani Padme Hum. You can follow along when you feel comfortable. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Namaste. Let's take a few minutes just to enjoy the moment. Namaste. Dedication to merit. May all places be held sacred. May all beings be cherished. May all injustices of oppression, devaluation, and theft be fully righted, remedied, and healed. May all wounds to forest, rivers, deserts, oceans, all wounds to Mother Earth be lovingly restored to bountiful health. May all beings everywhere delight in whale song, bird song, and blue sky. May all beings abide in peace and well-being, awaken and be free. Namaste.
Jordan, you can unmute with your question.
I don't have the question. I don't know how they went up. Sorry.
That's okay. Just waving. You're just waving at us.